Welcome to part two of our Bambu Studios tutorial series. Today we're going to be talking about adding multiple objects, resizing, as well as rotating. And at the end, we'll even talk about how to set up your slicer settings for each individual object. Let's jump right in. First thing we're going to do is we are going to add an object to this plate. So coming up to the top, we're going to hit add. And I'm going to add one of my spiral planters that I've designed. So we're going to say open. And you'll notice, hey, look, we've got a planter here, which is great. This is part of a series. And so here in a second, I'm going to bring in the other three that go with it. A couple things to pay attention to is every once in a while, when you add an object, it will come in either upside down or kind of on its side. So understanding how to rotate your object is really important. So you have your axes. You've got your X axis here. You've got your Y axis here, which shouldn't see a whole lot going on. And then your Z axis here. So you can really position these things all sorts of crazy ways. So sometimes, every once in a while, especially with these prints, I'll have something come in where, get it here so we can see it, where it's 180 degrees. I've now got the bottom of the planter here. And I'll have to come in here, select the object, and just do either a rotate, or if I'm lucky, I'll use this Auto-Orient and I'll hit it and it'll automatically put the flat spot or the best spot to print from on the plate. Now, the other thing is I want to bring in a couple more objects here for the next step. So we're going to add, and we're going to add in this object and this one. Say open. And it's going to ask me if they are a single object or multiple parts. In this case, we want to load these in just by themselves. So not any part of a series or any sort of parts. You'll see I have all three, and hey, look, they're not going to fit. So we have two options. We can add another plate here, which is what I'm going to do. So I've got a plate here, and I've got my plate here. And then I can use our auto arrange, and we're going to arrange, and you'll notice, hey, two on this plate, one on the new plate that we just created. If you don't create a plate first, it will actually auto create one for you if needed. But in this case, I want to print all of them on one plate, so I need to shrink them down. So up here, we have our scale tool. So I'm going to quickly select all these, select the first object, hold control, and select the other two. By the way, command on a Mac, if that's what you're using. In this case, I am using PC. And I'm going to choose scale, and my guess is about 75% is what's going to fit. And so as soon as I click off, it's going to auto make all of the X, Y, and Z at 75%, which gives us uniform scaling. And there we have that. Now my guess is if I go back to our arrange, all of them are going to fit on one plate, and you'll notice, hey, the other plate's gone. I do want to show you a really cool thing with a second plate that I like to do. So if I have an object, we're going to right click on this, clone this, say okay, onto this, and it's fairly small. So we'll even make this at about 50%. What I can do is just by right clicking on the object, I can fill the bed with copies. So if you're doing a lot of prints and you want to fill the bed without having to guess how many to add there, that's a great way to do it. All right, so going back to our one plate here, or to our plates. The next thing that I like to pay attention to when printing multiple objects is I actually have the option to change the way each one of these is sliced. So we're going to get rid of this plate here and just come back to our normal plate. By the way, if you ever get in a way where you're like, man, this is all out of whack, this little button right here, fit camera to screen, great tool. Okay, so we're back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and most of the time you'll be in a global, meaning all of the settings apply to all of the objects. Every once in a while, like in this case, you may want to make changes to these objects. One of the changes that you may want to make is adding supports to one object but not to others, or maybe you want to print at a faster speed or a slower speed. And in some cases, maybe it just is, hey, this object needs more walls than your other object. So I'm going to show you how to quickly do that. And we're just going to start with the objects. And you'll notice I have my objects here. And when you select an object, it's going to give you, hey, these are what frequently changes. You'll notice walls, infill, layers, and then if it needs supports or not. I can jump into each section and look at them more detailed. So in this case, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to slow some of these down. So we're going to grab the one that we have selected already here, go to speed, and we're going to say, hey, outer walls, I want them at 100. Inner walls, I want them at 100. For whatever reason, we feel like this print needs to be slower. And that should give us what we're looking for. Now, when I go and slice this, we'll look at the speed of this print and you'll be able to see how much it's changing. So we'll jump up and slice it. Now that the slicer is run, what I'm going to show you is default, I believe, is line type, which tells me as we come down, we'll zoom in a little bit. As we go through our layers, it's going to tell me what's going on. You have inner walls, outer walls, your bottom surfaces. You can even turn on the travel so you can see how your slicer is jumping around. Gets a little messy when you do that. And so what I like to look at is not line type, but speed. And you'll notice, hey, that one that we changed is a different color. Well, that's because in general, it's moving at about half the speed as our other planters that we're printing. So this is how you apply object specific settings. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially if I'm printing a lot of objects at one time, where I know I need to print 5 or 6 things on the plate that are all different, but they all need very specific settings. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the tutorial. Let me know what you want me to cover next in this series. Thanks for sticking around to the end. As always, make sure you like, comment, and even subscribe if you found these helpful or want to know when the next video is coming out.